Well, good afternoon, first of all. So my name is Dasuna Dasu, as Professor Brown mentioned. So I'm from Chad, basically in Africa. And I'm here at UMass doing my PhD in solar engineering. So today, what brought us is really about the idea plan. And there is one subject that I always kept in the back of my mind was really to how to give a solution to the nomadic population in Chad, whereby they really get to a very low education. So since I see difference maker, so I say maybe this idea could be a platform to use. So what I'm suggesting here is a design of an innovative approach, which I will probably develop that as we go. So first of all, why? Is there a problem? So the problem is that in Africa in total, 35 to 40 million people are nomadic, right? And those nomadic populations, because of the nature of their activities, so they feel they are abandoned by the government, they are abandoned by actually the system, the education system, because the traditional way of providing education, which is really classroom type, does not really fit in their actual activity. Because they have to move around 365 days around the clock, to take care of their cards, right? So they are actually husbands. So those populations, just to give you an example, in Nigeria, 9.3 million nomadic populations, we have 3 million children of school age. But if you look at the level of literacy, is between 0.2 to 20%. In Chad, in my country, out of 800,000 children of school age, 2% as we speak. So it is really alarming. And myself including, I have really witnessed some of the conflict that were generated because those populations, since they feel abandoned, basically whenever they go in their pathways, when they come across sedentary populations, there is a clash. And sometimes people actually get killed as well. So that's why it drives my question. And this does not really affect only Nigeria, Chad, but also it affects in total 13 countries in Africa in general. That's why you look at those maps from different countries. So I see an opportunity in this. And what is the opportunity that I see? There are existing solutions. And among those solutions that are really being supported by UN agency and also the French Development Agency, in addition also with the government, the local governments, they support any idea, any real projects that will provide education to those nomadic children. But the current solutions, the most popular one, are the mobile container that moves around. It has a solar power, but it's bulk. Logistically, it causes some problem to those people, so it does not really work. They also have radio transmissions, but the radio transmission solutions mainly used in Nigeria, but not in Chad. It's really broadcasting some of the programs to just give to sensitize mainly adult population about general public health issue, but it does not really address the education of the children. So I think that we have UN support, we have government support, we have also some of the agencies that we are throwing money, but the solutions are not really appropriate, basically. And what I'm really suggesting now, and it's still at a very incipient stage, which is really an idea, but if you look at during the last decade, there is an exponential growth in the population that really use people that have access to a cell phone. So cell phone could be used as a port of entry to really provide really the solution. So what I'm suggesting is to build upon the existing solutions, pre-upload educational programs into that cell phone device, and then also we can continue to broadcast the programs, and we could also use really the cell phones with the educational materials that kids could actually take around. And that will take the burden of really the mobility that they have. So the solution is really to design first, the prototype that will be the solar cell phone, and then we will revise the textbooks that they have to pre-upload on this, and then we will probably use the existing stuff. So the resources, we will probably try to reach out for the UN and government really funds, and also for the difference maker fund that they have that will help me to build a prototype to resolve this issue. So basically that's what I have as a solution. And by discussing, trying to search exactly on the main concern of the population, the nomadic populations, they say that one of the biggest things, they don't want to give up their actually mobility. So any type of education that cannot really address that is an issue for them. So I see that, I believe that the cell phone with pre-uploaded instructional education materials will be probably the solution for that. It's cheap and it's affordable. As you can see, even now, you can find among those nomadic populations, very far out, they use the cell phone. You can at least find they use it for it. They're very enthusiastic about using the cell phone.
So your time is up, Dasu.
Thank you.
And the judges have 5 minutes to ask you questions about your idea.
I have a question. How do you envision this application being delivered? Is it going to be? I'm not familiar with the cell phone network and what's available there. But are there apps? Is it how would you get this information to the people's cell phone? Is it a signal that you would use, or is it? How are you planning on delivering that?
I'm planning on actually using pre-uploaded applications.
Oh, okay, so pre-uploaded, okay.
So basically,
Gotcha.
those applications will actually use the existing textbook that they have, and so it has to be like if you want to really teach them math. If you use math you see 5 card plus 5 card equals 10, but we could actually use maybe 5 cows plus those kind of things. So basically those materials should be really pre-uploaded,
Okay.
so that it kind of embraces their way of looking at the things. So those materials will be pre-uploaded on those phones,
Mm-hmm.
and then whenever they get those phones, they have always those materials in
So am I hearing though that you'd be giving out a specific phone to elementary and a different phone with different
Exactly.
programs to
That's right.
to high school and
That's
different
right.
grade levels?
That's right.
Okay.
You also mentioned that the content should be within the context of their culture. Does that curriculum exist currently, or would that need to be modified?
It does. Swiss corporations, and I'm speaking of Chad, and also maybe it happens in the rest of the country in Africa, but especially in Chad, they have developed materials, text materials, that uses really in the context. The way that they live, to kind of help them live. Those materials are really adapted for actually their context. But despite of that, all those projects have failed. They have failed because they were designed to be delivered in a classroom type of real teaching. And the classroom type of teachings, there is a huge dropout out of the school because those parents will get the kids out of the classroom because they are moving around.
Okay, so how will you, have you estimated the cost of this cell phone? Because today, what you're talking about is a smartphone, it's not a dumb phone, right? And today, smartphones cost $500–600 or more. So how can we afford, in an underprivileged society, how would you afford that? Who would fund it?
That's a very good question. And unfortunately, at this stage, I tried my best really to come up with the estimate, but not until you evaluate the true cost of really how to develop this the application cost.
Yeah.
When from actually the literature so far that I've got to develop an application, probably the least amount is really $10,000 to develop an application.
Well, I'm worried about the actual handsets that you have to give out to the kids, right? This is going to the kids, right? The kids are going to have the same.
It doesn't exist yet, does it?
Exactly. It doesn't have to be expensive because the iPhone that probably you guys are using and the majority of people are used based on different materials. So you can actually downgrade the materials. They have to be not really expensive materials. So I think, as we speak, in Africa and in Chad in particular, there are cell phones that you can buy with $20.
But you're not talking about smartphones.
They are not smartphones, but that's where the challenge is to build the application that will go with the cheapest phone, not with the expensive.
Right. And out there in the where your target customers would be, is there enough cell coverage?
Yes, cell phone business, like I showed on this, cell phone coverage is a very good business, especially in Africa. And they have
Yeah.
coverage right now, those nomadic populations are using cell phone for communication. So there are actually towers that actually are installed already that we could actually use. That's one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Africa. I mean, I'm from India, and every time I go back there, the cell phone coverage is great in urban centers, but as soon as you get out of the city,
Yes.
your coverage drops off pretty rapidly. And so if you're targeting this in a non-urban population, would they have coverage? And would you be able to get the signal to them?
And that could itself, constitute an opportunity
Yeah.
for actually the network providers, in Chad or any country, because they could see that there's an opportunity to expand on
Yeah.
actually the coverage. And I think that that's something that, yes, sir.
How do you see the content that's going on the phones be developed?
The content,
Yeah, the curriculum.
the curriculum, that's another good question. The curriculum is, I'm an engineer, I'm not really an education person, but the curriculum has to really, we have to look at the existing curriculum, and I'm sure that if the Swiss corporations and UN education agency like UNESCO are involved in developing textbook, I'm pretty sure that probably there are smart people that have developed probably meaningful textbook that, all we need to do is we need to pre-upload those existing textbooks.
So would it need a signal to give that application to the person? It wouldn't necessarily have to have a signal if it's preloaded and already on
That's
there.
right.
They don't need to have cellular
No,
coverage.
no.
Is there a way to leverage what you have now with, maybe partner with one of the providers that exists today to deliver the content? Because obviously I think your biggest problem is going to be developing the phones themselves at a reasonable cost and be able to pull that out. Building the application and partnering with one of the providers that already exists may, just a thought.
That's, it's a good thought.
Yeah.
Question about from a social perspective, I know nothing about the nomadic culture, but how are the parents of these children and the leaders in the political environment going to react to this kind of stuff? When you have 2% of the children in your country that are actually of the nomadic population that are actually literate. I mean, their parents are probably all literate as well. So how do you convince them that it's important? Because this is not the way they've done it for eons, generations, or whatever. So it's a huge social thing you need to overcome. No, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
That's the true statement, and that statement was actually from one of the reports delivered by the Department of Education in Chad, and actually they investigated actually the need of actually the population, the nomadic population, and the 2% they feel abandoned by the government because there is no sustainability of the current solutions.
Yeah.
And the teachers that actually are supposed to, because the solution, one of the solutions is part of the mobile containers is to have teachers that will follow along the path of the herdsman. But those teachers, they quit the job.
Yeah,
So they are very, very angry that nobody is taking care of the solution. That's why part of it, like when they come into the sedentary population, there is a clash. And so to address your question, I think that they are very, very excited and enthusiastic about people solving the issue.
Right.
As they think
So
that
you think they'll all be
exactly,
accepting
yeah,
it?
they
Okay.
Thank you, Dasu. That's all the time we're going to have for questions. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.